All right, so now moving to item 11, and Darren, welcome back to the table. This is the capital delivery closeout report on Risingholme Homestead, and I guess drawing particular attention to the community outcomes and lessons learned, which are contained in attachment B. But I'd welcome your commentary on this report, and then we'll take any questions.
Thank you very much. Another successful delivery from the Heritage Program. We're bringing that program to a close now. This facility opened just on a year ago. Refurbishment and rebuild of the Risingholme Community Centre. As you'd mentioned, the community outcomes on this were quite significant. The facility was residential in the upstairs. It was converted to community meeting space, and the feedback from Linda, the director of the user group, she loves this thing. We've as a council delivered a great outcome. The lessons learnt also we've added that for you to have a look at. We've taken all of those lessons onto every other project we do, and I guess take it as read. Richie's here if there's any particular questions pertinent to this project as such, but we'll be bringing a number of other closeout reports from the community program I deliver through the coming months. I think the next few months we've got additional smaller suburban projects coming through as well.
Thank you. So questions on deconstruction of some of the building elements. So this is in the attachment B, what did not go well, item 2. On deconstruction of some of the building elements, areas of the building were found to be substandard in relation to current building codes, and this affected the budget. Richie, you might have a comment on this. I'm guessing that this is not unusual when we're looking at buildings of this type and nature, but to what extent do we build that into contingencies or into our expectations?
Well, it's very difficult. I mean, I guess the biggest lessons learned throughout the whole program is the intrusive investigation. So we had to get a resource consent, and we were limited by what we cut in and had a look at inside the building itself. We've learnt through the process that the more we investigate at that stage, the more we know about the building structure. So we get a lot of surprises when we take linings off and everything else, as we have done for the last 8 or so years. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Sarah.
No question, just a huge thank you. I went to the Risingholme AGM just a couple of weeks ago, and when you look at the enormous list of community activities and things that go on in that building and that site, it is just huge for that strengthening communities, connectedness, further education, a whole range of things. And they were incredibly complimentary about the interactions they've had with staff and the building and the results. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tim.
Yeah, look, Darren and Richie, thank you. I'll just reiterate what Sarah said, and especially Richie, you also led the Old Stone House in Craycroft. You know, these buildings are really hard to restore, but you do an outstanding job. I started attending Risingholme when I was 3, when a group of us were dropped off by our mothers so they could apparently play tennis, but I think they went off and had a gin, but we won't go there. But look, thank you so much. It's outstanding. It's real, there's a heart to that community, as Sarah was saying, so thank you.
All right, so just sticking with questions for the moment, are there any further questions for staff? All right, that's fine. So if I can have a mover for this one. So Sarah will move, Jake will second. Is there any debate on this? I would just reiterate the comments that have been made. This is one of a number of buildings that Darren and Richie, I know you've both been very involved with over a number of years. Older buildings which have got their own complications, but buildings which are, absolutely valued by the communities that they serve and the communities that use them. And I know there's a huge level of appreciation, the community that uses this building, but there are a number of other examples all around the city of buildings that have formed part of this wider programme. That have been complicated, that in some ways have been far more difficult than we expected, but where the appreciation from the community that these buildings are back in use is, absolutely obvious. So thanks very much indeed for the work that you've done. Thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you.